upon moving forward, growing stronger together.
Good afternoon, my name is Jonathan Achaiba. I am a music teacher at St. Joseph's Convent, San Fernando. The name of our organization is Pan Moving Forward. I am one of the coordinators for the hamper drive that we are currently doing. Our organization has undertaken the initiative to do a hamper drive throughout Trinidad and Tobago, seeing that the pandemic has really left plenty of people out of work. So a lot of steel bands, the musicians, depend solely on performing, whether it be in shows, functions, cruise ships. And since with the whole COVID happening, a lot of these musicians have been jobless, and it's very, very tough for them. So we decided to try and provide some food hampers for all the steel bands in which their members are currently experiencing difficulty or don't have any work right now. So what we try to do is to present them with a little hamper just to give a little help to the situation. A little more about this organization. We have been running for the past 6 months, and this main initiative, which was one of our first main initiatives to do the hamper drive, our goal and objective is not only just to provide hampers for bands and members, but to build that relationship between the MPs, the councillors, and bands in their districts. And that is one of the most productive things that has come out of this entire initiative. We have visited Miaro district where we met with Mr. Rushton Parry, and he expressed a very good initiative in helping with the bands in his area. We also met with MPs, Councillor Marcus Kidari and Rishi, which also, that's in Marabella and Gulview, and they also expressed quite an interest in helping out in helping these steel bands with their facilities and later on beyond COVID. So this is not just about a COVID relief effort, but this is making that bond for future and beyond COVID, where they can have that relationship, where they can call on their MP or their councillor and get that support. We also met with Councillor Nicholas Canhai in the Davie area, and that was yesterday, and this morning we met with Dr. Latram Bodo and Councillors Javid Mohammed and Derek Bowen, and they were very instrumental and willing to be part of this initiative. And they met with the band leaders, we spoke, we talked about the problems, and they were very willing to move forward after COVID and deal with some of these and be that support system. So it's about building relationships, and we are very happy and pleased. Today we are here at Skipper Bunch Panyard, and I would like to say a special thanks to Mr. Regrello, Mayor Regrello. He has allowed us to use his panyard as a distribution center, and he also donated hampers today, as well as the MP for San Fernando West, Mr. Faris Sawari. He also had a very instrumental role in this initiative, and they both contributed to the bands in San Fernando West and San Fernando. And right, so they were both very instrumental in this initiative, and we are eternally grateful for all of the MPs, all of the councillors, and the mayor himself for being part of this initiative. We look forward to more productive plans and initiatives later on beyond this COVID, and helping the bands and getting to know everyone. So thank you everyone for being part, and keep safe.
You say your name is?
My name is Jonathan Achaiba.
Jonathan Achaiba.
Yes.
The Achaiba name is is big in music, and particularly with steel band music. How do you fit in there?
Well, my father was Steve Achaiba, who was the arranger for Hatters and the leader for South Stars. He was also the last arranger from San Fernando or the southern region to have won the large conventional national panorama. That was 1975, where they performed tribute to Sweet Simon. Where I fit in with the pan, I have brought steel pan in St. Joseph's Convent as a mainstream instrument, and we have a band as well, Blue Steel, and we also go out for Junior Panorama. We enter Junior Panorama. We have a year-round pan program going on, and pan is mandatory from forms 1 to 3, so at some point in time in the student's life, everyone would have experienced playing the national instrument and being exposed to it.
So you have a sister who's into music too?
Yes, Adriana Achaiba.
Yeah.
Adriana. So yeah, she's the little prodigy from 9. You know, she playing pan since she like 3-4 years old. Her first album was at 9 years, I believe, so 8 or 9, I think. Yeah. So she's teaching. She's a teacher right now in Irie High School.
Yeah. There's a lot of hampers all around you. Could you tell me who is your sponsor? How did you manage to get all of this together?
Right. So I am seeing that we have some from Anand Low Price. Now the MP, Mr. Faris Alwari, and his office, they would have organized from their sources the hampers, as well as Junior Regrello also would have organized from his office their hampers. One of our main contributors is Prasad's Food King. They also provide hampers for us throughout from Marabella branch to the New Grant branch and into Point Fortin. Mr. Anand Prasad was very instrumental in helping us, and he donated as well. We also have some private contributors. Mr. Robert Balgobin was very instrumental in helping put some hampers together for us, and his company as well also donated.
This is Anand Low Price with branches all over the place?
Yes, and Prasad's Food King as well. But yeah, so we got hampers from the Marabella branch as well as hampers from the New Grant branch for the bands up in Mearo and River.
Okay, so thank you. So what next?
What next? When we wrap up this initiative here, we are looking at some pan renovation projects. Our president, Aquil, will be able to probably shed some light more on that for you.
Okay. Could you get him for me, please?
No problem.
Hey, good evening to Ms. Hollis, Clifton, to his audience, Trinidad and Tobago, and the world at large. I'm Aquila Rindell, and I'm here as the president today in this capacity as the president of PAN Moving Forward. The organization started basically about 6 months ago, where I've decided to visit panyards throughout the length and breadth of this country and ascertain some of the problems and try to find solutions towards fixing those problems. The movement have grown from just being Aquila Rindell to 5 people, then 6 people, and we are now about approximately about 25 members who have monthly meetings and make decisions, set goals and objectives, and report on those goals and objectives as soon as they are accomplished or wherever status it is. So we'll put other things in place to get them accomplished in the nearest possible time. We recently formalized by deciding on the name and the logo and the branding of it. So the official name of the organization from at this point is PAN Moving Forward. Recently, we started a hamper drive, and the genesis of that hamper drive came from a void from our parent organization. We decided to step in to try to fill that void or give some assistance towards that void. Yeah? The mic?
They want to see who you are.
All right, good.
Take
Take the mic.
below.
Below?
Yes.
Right, nice. So, yes, so we try to assist the organization by filling that void. The organization had some fundraisers and they tried to give relief to Panman, and that is commendable from the organization. And we realized that they could have only given one hamper per band, and that wouldn't be sufficient because a band is sometimes 25 members and up. So we decided to see if we can step in. One of the guys, or the MP, that really inspired the idea to go through MPs really started from Mr. Keith Scotland, right, from Port of Spain. And we saw he took the initiative to allocate a number of hampers for some steel bands in his community. And I reached out to him with a thank you. I wrote an article and said thank you for doing X, Y, and Z for the steel bands. And he was really appreciative of the article and the little publicity behind what he did. I then reached out to Mr. Monroe from Sandy Grande, the MP for Sandy Grande, Toko Sandy Grande, and we organized probably the same style, getting hampers and so on, and I did the article, I did a little video and so on. And because of the good work that he did, and because he was satisfied with the article and the video that I did for him, he put me on to Miss Penelope Beckles, and from there the movement started going from one person to the next person to the next person in terms of MPs and politicians. Up to this morning, we met with some of the politicians from Faizabad area and the Saparia area, and we gave out hampers at that location as well. But even deeper than giving out the hampers, we are also getting that connection with the politician and the MPs and the councillors for the area. We bringing that connection directly to the steel band. So we're making sure that numbers exchange, we're making sure that problems of the steel bands are being heard on that point in time, and even we are going to make sure that follow-ups between the MP and the steel band happen, so we can eradicate some of the problems or get over some of the challenges that the steel band face in their community, in their respective community at this point in time.
Akwil, on another issue, you are a very creative young man. You have done things that most other people have not done and wouldn't even think about doing. Could you just share with us what Cut Time Studio is?
Alright, so Cut Time Studio is a studio came from the bowels of my steel band, San City Steel Symphony. And I always give credit to San City Steel Symphony, because if it wasn't for San City Steel Symphony, the product Akwil Arundel would not be where I'm at today. So give thanks to Lennox Fortune, deceased Lennox Fortune Sam, right? He taught me music for free, and I've been doing that same tradition of teaching music for mostly free. You know, I have some paid classes, but mostly free, through the San City Steel Symphony organization and institution, right? Cut Time Studio is a recording studio built specifically built to hold a small steel band. Usually if you go into a studio in Trinidad, what you would have to do is have the panists going one at a time in the booth, because they only have one booth, or they would have to have all the steel bands gather in one big room and put some mics around them. And they would get some level of quality, but to really get quality, we need to get those individual tracks and those individual recordings. So my studio could accommodate about 5-6 steel bands at a time, so the process of recording would be shorter, and we would still maintain the same quality. I believe that at this point in time, if we are in the music industry, we should be producing music for consumption regularly. And I don't think that that is happening at this point in time. And at some point, I would like that to change, where every month we can have an album from a particular steel band.
Akwil, I have seen Cut Time Studio interviewing a lot of people. Tell me something, has the band itself, Sun City, been practicing because of, and we're looking at COVID-19,
right.
Has it affected you in any way?
Of course, tremendously. The band haven't practiced for over 2 months now. We on a standstill because again is human life first, and we want to make sure that we are not a part of the problem, you know, by going out and defying the laws of the country and so on and so on. But in terms of the interviews that coming out of the studio is basically again voids. I've noticed that we in the steel band community have a void of having a space for healthy discussion in steel band, in issues surrounding steel band. So and a lot of the time too, the discussion that we'll be having is discussions where persons would go in a corner to talk, but they wouldn't talk it publicly because of a fear for some public opinion or that kind of thing. So what I've done is created a show called the Chopping Block, where we take taboo issues within the steel band movement and properly ventilate it and properly discuss it. I'm hoping to move that not only into the steel band community, but I want to get, in the near future, get into the calypso and the soca, and any cultural group that have issues that need to be discussed publicly, and we can find solution for it. So it's not only a talk shop, but it is a way that we could ventilate it and find solutions for it.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
All right, have a nice one, and thanks for having me.
And also to you.
That's beautiful.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sean Dubé. Right now, I'm assistant with. Hi, everybody. My name is Sean Dubé. I've been involved in the steel pan industry about over 20 years or more. I have a love for it. It's because of the steel pan I become who I am. So it's time to give back. At the moment, I'm assisting Mr. Akwil with the rebuilding of Panjabego, especially South area. I want to be part of the South area, whereas we can bring back South to where it was when I was a young man, a young player.
That's just the other day.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. When I was a young player, where we had those sort of ambition of being a pan man. And I came on the Liam Ted, Darren Shepherd, Ramsey, called me, I could go on and on and on and on. I've played some of the most high-end bands in South here. I've played even Hoytonians. I've been there, I've done that. So now we want to take this band fraternity to a different level with the stewardship and the direction of Mr. Akwil. Alright? Thank you very much.
Okay, Sean, before you go, you were my student at Pleasantville Senior Com, right?
Yes, I was one of them.
You played pan on that Ken Professor Fillmore.
Yes.
What did you take away from that relationship with Ken Professor Fillmore?
Well, answering that now will take me whole day. It's a lot this Mr. gave to us. He gave himself to us, the humility, the level of calmness and the excitement while you're playing, and learn to love your instrument, learn to love what you're doing. He showed us how to enjoy the pan, enjoy the music. And I could go on and on and on and on. But it's enjoying the music. He taught that. I learned that from him, how to enjoy your music.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Maurice Alexander, and I'm the PR of the organization Pan Moving Forward. This afternoon we are here with regards to the distribution of hampers to several of our South steel bands. They are here this afternoon to receive the relief that has been donated to us, to our many stakeholders throughout the length and breadth of the southern land, and likewise throughout north of Trinidad as well too. This initiative, as mentioned before, is in fact a social initiative in dealing and treating with the issues that our bands and their memberships may have. We are in this time during the pandemic. Several families are affected, and obviously our members that are from these bands do make up and come from families which would be affected. Particularly coming out of No Carnival, one of the premier events that our bands are involved in, unable to come off this year and looking quite shaky for next year. We know in a fact that economically our membership is in fact in dire needs, and therefore in reaching out through corporate Trinidad and different communities, some other stakeholders within the communities of South, we were able to get buy-in from them, and they saw the need for such an initiative in reaching out to our membership and treating with some of the social issues to affect some of their families and their livelihoods at this time.
Maurice, I know this is a cultural affair, but you've been involved with politics for quite some time. Could you share something on that?
Well, yes, I am a former local government representative out of the Superior Regional Corporation, and I have been involved first. Before politics, I have always been involved in the arts. I am a musician myself, a member of the Superior Petrichan Deltones, well, formerly known Superior Petrichan Deltones Steel Orchestra. I am a vocalist as well, so I have always been involved in the arts. All right, so I know it may be strange to some seeing me after a long while on the scene of the pan world, but I have left. I've always been there, and I'm still involved also in the politics. It's part of my passion. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Fuad Abubakar, and I am a member of PAN Moving Forward, and we are here this afternoon at Skiffle Bunch Spaniard to assist in the distribution of some hampers to PAN men and PAN women, people within the community and constituency. Of course, we recognize the difficulty that people have been facing throughout this COVID-19 pandemic and the economic difficulties of the lockdown as well. So it is about sharing some love. The same way PAN shares some love through music, you know, we have extended that love and that beautiful tune to some assistance so that people could, you know, catch themselves, bounce back. It's a difficult time, but we can get through together if we stick together and we help each other.
You're also a national footballer?
No.
No?
Rodan Abubakar, my brother, is the national footballer.
It's your brother?
My brother is the national footballer.
Okay.
And he would have just returned from Gold Cup action not too long ago.
Okay.
But I'm an activist in Trinidad and Tobago. I'm involved in leadership and politics in Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm involved in the steel band movement for quite some time. My band is Western Stars Philharmonic, based in Diego Martin. So, no stranger to, you know, community work and just an understanding heart. I understand what people are going through at this period in time. Mm-hmm. And we have all been endeavoring our very best. I want to say thanks to those involved, Mr. Aquila Rindell, PAN Moving Forward, all the others, the Minister of the Attorney General, Mr. Faris Arwawi is also the MP for this area, Mr. Junior Regrello, you know, everybody involved who understands the plight of people, PAN men in general, and made this effort to assist. So, thank you very much.
Okay. Could you ask His Worship the Mayor to come, please? Intro.
Right.
Introduce yourself first.
Junior Regrello, speaking from Skiffle Panyard on Coffee Street in San Fernando.
Portfolio, apart from that?
Junior Regrello, Skiffle Panyard, Coffee Street, San Fernando. Mr. Clifton is trying to get me to wear a political hat this evening. Today I'm a PAN enthusiast, I'm a practitioner of the art form, and I'm here supporting the art form at this very difficult pandemic period. Yes, Hollis, what can I do for you this evening?
I want to tell me about your involvement in this exercise here today.
Well, I have been approached by a group of Southern Panmen who are of the view that we have to, charity begins at home, and we should support the Pan fraternity in this very difficult time, particularly those who are pressed with financial issues. I asked quite a few questions, and what I gather is that they have approached bands to get a listing of those who need, and those names were submitted to the various agencies, including the mayor's office, and we are prepared to help. I have a commitment as the mayor, and beyond that, because of my love for the art form, so I have decided to support this venture, this exercise this evening.
Thank you, sir.
I'm not in the business to assist and take a picture and tell anybody, but I have been doing this since last year. There are quite a few bands that I visited the Panyard quietly, called the band leader and said, what is the status of the band at this time? How many players are being faced with challenges? I get a listing and I drop off hampers. So I've been doing this since last year.
But given COVID,
yeah,
and everything is on a low key.
Yeah.
When last the band had a performance?
Skipper?
Yeah.
We had a show, we had a concert in February of this year called Tempo in Song. That was all over television and on social media, and that was quite successful. That was before the general lockdown came, so there was some moderation where performances were allowed with a 50% capacity at the stage, at the audience. So we were able to capture that, and it's quite successful. Outside of that, well, we have to wait until we have to support the government in this very difficult time. We have to support the guidelines of the Ministry of Health, and nothing else can be done. And I am out there and I'm asking people, get vaccinated. That's our solution to the problem, and that's our only hope.
Was the concert in the bowl or where?
At Sapa.
Sapa?
Yes.
Okay.
It was the same night we would have had the Calypso Fiesta.
Oh.
So we created, a very sort of a structured, controlled fiesta. We had all the top artists performing that night, of course accompanied by the steel orchestra.
Okay, so you capitalized on the fact that there was no fiesta.
Yes, and
wonderful.
We were to supply and replace the fiesta with something that encompasses all the elements of fiesta and carnival to some extent. It went live on social media and YouTube and things like that. So it's still there. You could just go on social on YouTube and pick up Skiffle Tempo in Sunday.
All right. Thank you very much.
Most welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, good evening. My name is Christopher Mohammed. I'm a committee member of PAN Moving Forward. We get to some hamper, drives to the different fields in San Fernando, West constituency, Faris Alwari constituency, Skiffle Park. I'm a committee member. I support this group for the upcoming function election led by Aquila Rendell. I have decided to support this group because I have known Aquila for a very long time. And I've been involved with him in one way or the other in the PAN fraternity. We want to be honest, open, trustworthy, young, vibrant. More or less, this is the reason, and the people he have with him, like Jonathan Achaiba, Mr. Brown, other members, Sean Ruby, Baya, Keith Baya, and all these guys, they are people with experience and with a purpose to move PAN forward. That's what I want to be involved in, and I've decided to put my support behind this group.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, my name is Claude Byron, Captain of Panasonic Connection. What I'm here for, we came to this area for, sharing of the but what's happening is I personally, but right now I'm not too well because I'm 83 and going to 84. The oldest captain of any Stephen interest. I think I'm the youngest, but I'm still holding on I wasn't too well last month, but a lot of stories that I have that I could tell. And the whole issue is this, that a lot of people, the younger ones who come up, like I was on 95.5 last month, and they asked me certain things. People call in and they say, what the guy name? They say that the guy name is Claude Byron, but let's call him Sid. And it seems like in South, we know more than most of the bands in South. It is, because I am 83 now and I started playing pan in the 15 years old. So mathematically, that is a lot of years. Well, I usually I do play again. I just leave the Panasonic connection still there. But I am at this site here for the what did you know?
Hamper.
Yeah, they said the Hampers program. So I was just trying to relocate myself because I wasn't well last month. And a lot of people calling me. There's some Port Spring coming down next week to check me out. Because it has some north men from the north telling them, if you want information about long time plan and old days, go and check Sid, that is my nickname. Sometimes they call me 6'2".
Say that again?
Sid, my nickname. I got that name when I started, after I left Free Friends. After I left Free Friends, the citizens of Victoria Village was kind of, they were annoyed how I went Free Friends. Free Friends was going on, and why I don't stay in my own territory and open my band. The children was getting frustrated, they didn't want to come San Fernando to play in Victoria at the time. Yeah. I said I will sleep over it and get back to her. It wasn't even 2 nights I get to sleep over it because we want to start a band in Victoria Village. I said, well, you know to start a band is easy. They said, we know, but you have to help us. I said, Mr. George Weeks was the sponsor of our band, which was OWTU, Free Friends, in those days. And these stories, if I go to get it, is a long story.
I have time.
It's a long story.
We want a special interview.
Yeah, so what happened is, I put in a resignation letter to OWTU. Those days, OWTU Free Friends. And I told them I'm getting a lot of problems from my area where I live because I had some knowledge to run silver and to administrate and as a captain. So I told them, okay. There was some discarded funds in Free Friends that we had put behind the yard. So by my house now, after the villagers come and just park up in front of my house. I said they come to fight, but they come calling. They tell you, you must sleep over, there's 3 days going on, you ain't doing nothing yet. I said, listen, I sent in my resignation yesterday. They say, yeah, well, we know that, but here we want to start. So they bring them on. I tell 2 guys who lives around my area. I said, get a truck and go up in Free Friends yard. In the canal behind the shed, there's some discarded pans. Tell the guy to load it up on the truck. Send 2 guys with it. They load up the truck and they brought it down. So it had a big argument with who will name the band. I said, to name the band, all you will have to get a name for the band. But they said, they watch on radio. And they saw they watch the radio and they always have some Panasonic electronics. I said, Panasonic? I said, yeah, we're going to name the band. I said, I give you no chance to name it. But when they had called the word Panasonic, I didn't like it. I said, here what we will do. We will make 2 changes in that name. We will take out the A and put O, Band Ocean. So the name of the band right now is Panasonic.
Okay.
Not Panasonic. A lot of people say it's Panasonic. So they say Panasonic I say, and put connection. Put connection. So they agreed. So we started the identification of the band as Panasonic connection. But the truth of the fact is, I started the band. I am a leader of a band and an arranger, Steve Achaiba. This is Steve Achaiba. It's the only 2 men start a band in June and go up and next year.
Serious?
Yeah.
You can remember the year?
Well, I can't remember Achaiba year. But I remember my year.
Panasonic.
Yeah. 78 when I sent in the resignation. June, after the carnival and thing, the members started coming on by my house. So I said, listen, we're going to work out something. So,
Work out something?
huh?
Go ahead.
I said we work out something. So then, the name of the band stayed. We had to form a committee somehow because I didn't want to run the band alone. I wanted some members.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Around me, people were interested. To be honest, monetary wise too, because we didn't have any money. We didn't open a bank account or anything. So that a guy named Clifton, a guy named deceased, this guy deceased, I'm trying to remember his name. But anyway, we opened the bank on Tuesday Street, facing where Jenny's, presently Jenny's, facing Jenny's. And we stayed there for a year or 2 years. And then some people who had owned the land wanted back the land, so we didn't have money to do. And to tell you the truth, these stories that I have here is from my heart and it's God's truth. When they tell us we have to move, we bought the pans and we put it in a piece of open land, government land, mind you.
Okay.
And I called a guy, a friend of mine, named George. I said, George, he said, where you going to visit? I said, see that piece of land there? I'm going to take that piece of land and get up on it. Everybody got to help. He said, but you just so well, like government land? I said, I really in case for government land, I don't know. I play very stupid like I do. I said, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to government land. So eventually, we started dig holes. Somebody passed concerning government saw us digging that hole to put down our shed. They went and tell us, those days, it was the city of Sanford.
Borough.
It was the borough of Sanford.
Okay.
I see 3 police come up to me. They say, hello, what are you doing there? I said, you're trying to give it up. They say, you crazy? Just so? You're just squatting here. I said, don't do nothing here. The next 4 days, we started.
Go ahead, you go ahead.
Yeah, we started. And they came back, put me in the jeep, and they carried me down in the city hall. Carried me down in the city hall. They didn't put no handcuffs on me. So, whose name is Goitia, and a man named Mr. Newton.
Yeah.
was around in them days.
Fred Goich and Bernard Lioto.
Yeah, them was around.
They were councillors.
Yeah. Them was
Oh, no, well, they in the office,
in
yeah.
the borough, they were
Yeah.
them working
CEO.
in town hall was the city hall, them working in town hall.
Yeah.
So it's so while I sit down in the station, a guy who was working, I don't remember his name, like so much years ago, I was 40 something years. The guy said, brother, see we in this Indian station, they lock you? I said, yeah, they lock me. They said, so what? I said, I'm trying to fill up and I feel the chair in my ear. And these police come twice, they warn me to do nothing, they come back again and they tell me they have to carry me down. I said, it's okay, I'm going down. So the guy said, nah boy, not you boy, not you. You know what happened? He talked to I can't remember the superintendent at that time. You hear that my age, I just forget certain names. So, he said, he talked to the superintendent and they let me go. They let me go. I don't know what he told him, but they have some connection.
They are blind.
Yeah, they let me go. So when they let me go and I was going up the hill by the stronghold, the guy saying, they're having a statutory meeting. On Thursdays, a statutory meeting in the borough council. He said, I'm going to bring up that. And the town clerk and I think Mr. Lieto, a couple of people who had known me before. So the Thursday was the statutory meeting. I got a letter stating that, okay, Mr. Bayer, they put the panyard on my name. They didn't put it on Panasonic connection. They didn't order. They put it on my name.
Personal.
I have documents to show that.
Okay.
They said we're going to put this thing on your name. And anytime any bus route running here, we're going to move your van.
Okay.
And I said, so when will you move me? Will you get location for me? They said you ask that, you will have to move. So that was in 1978, 79, 80. When we moved from out the road on Tuesday Street, we came to this same spot at present where we are now. So when they said that, I said, okay. When only running the bus route, only had to notify me before I moved any plans and things for me. They say, yeah, we will do that. Well, eventually, it seems like that project didn't come to pass. I just let it ride. And we're still here up to this day. That is number 9 Macon Street, San Fernando, Victoria Village, San Fernando. But all in all, at that time, the bands in San Fernando was trying, most bands was trying to get a site for their plan.
Yeah.
A lot of bands. I had Motown, they had other bands like that. But you notice something. In San Fernando, when band get a spot, it's always a way kind of easy. One either by some river. There's only no modern times. Remember the Pandan place in the city and in long time was by river, train line. Most bands was on train line. And by river, Bankano. I won't call all the band's name, but that was it was like that. And I still there up to now. But the part where Sam Macron and George came in and said, well, you do a good job when I had resigned from the OWT. In 1982, I went to some people and I asked them for funds to buy a uniform.
And you what?
Buy uniform.
Okay.
In 1982. That's the first time the band make a South final. First time. Mr. Rich and Mr. Macron was there at the track, the cycling track. So when we done there, they called me. They said, the band song going to be. So Mr. Rich said, why you going you singing and then you hang with my band and you open my band and you come and doing so good. At that time they had stolen all the pants and shoes. A lot of pants were stolen. We had one of the most expensive drum sets in Trinidad.
That's from Free French, you said?
Yeah.
Is it when Free French was on the coffee behind the old ice factory?
Ice factory.
Okay, made in street side.
Yeah. The thief out, when I leave, in 3 weeks' time, the thief out tenor, the thief the drum set. Mr. Reed said buy a drum set so when you must sleep healthy. It never had a drum set like that in Sandra after that. When you must sleep healthy, it's a lighter. It was an expensive drum set. And I stayed there with them and grew them boys and we come up to all the years and then we went started to grow. We went from men like, Professor like Bradley, and all these kind of guys. And band started built from there. But what happened in the 70s, they categorized the bands, small, medium, and large. So I used my head as a boy, they categorizing the band. We can't beat them badminton like Gasparo and all.
The big guns.
Yeah, we can't beat them. The big spots and all that. So I told them to change my mind. I said, I think we should do. So everybody stood up and said, you know what? When we go small band category, we could advantage them down there. So we went in the small band category. I can't remember the exact case happened. I have that whole, I can't remember it's here now. So we went to the small band category and we started moving up. But we never jumped to medium and people told us, why are you going medium and large? I said, we can't do that. So right now in 2021, well in the last panorama that was 1920. And we made the semi-finals in 2020 under the directorship of one Willie Hines, Junior Willie Hines. And that was the last one. But I personally had given a history at time that people didn't know. Victoria Village is one of the smallest villages in the whole of Trinidad. And since 1948, we were renegades and desperate and the invaders when the invaders started. They had a steel band in Victoria named Lucky Star. A lot of people don't know that. Punching they go to I used to the line of the little band and watch them play. The name of the band was Lucky Star. I remember the name, Rupert Allen and all them fellas. And it's from there I started running away from home, going up there. I was 10 years old, running around and then coincidentally, a guy who named Lane Franklin, he come and open my band next door to us. Next door. The house after us.
Really?
Yeah.
He's right.
A guy named Lane Franklin. At that time I was, let me see, I was about, the Lucky Star band we were telling you about, they were wrong that time. They had a problem because the whole caving in and things, so they kind of crashed. And then Lane opened my bag, I named Lane Franklin opened my bag. He deceased now, he died in St. Paul. He opened the band right next door to me. I see some pants coming in gradually. So I say, and even I saw it, I said, I didn't just call him Mr. Lane or Mr. Franklin. I said, you open a band? He said, yeah. I said, what? It's like when you with the paper, and I say, I saw I'm going to fill up this stuff. He say, and them going through, I open up this banner. They call a meeting on Sunday. And after he accumulate some funds, he had contact to get some funds. Then this drum, people say, get the drums free. Not my long to buy them. And he started up the band. To make a long story short, he started the band. And when he started the band, all them old guys in Samson and he said, we sound and come up by us. In collaboration with somebody who live by us. The band name, they named the band Chris Cross.
No, go ahead. I'm looking to see when Paris comes now.
Yeah, they named the band Chris Cross. So I started running from my house through the fence. Then there's another chimney fence to go over there. And I went and clean out the yard, coincidentally I even the secret out. So when them boys come in the evening, at least you will realize. So when they come to practice, they're watching around and say, how they looking clean so? So when the captain comes, he said, well, like somebody was on the side. So I was by the fence, I said, me. He said, you take over a cookie and sweep all the asses? I said, yeah. He said, you really like Pango. I had to ask your parents to come and join me. In them days, right telling you, Clifton, right telling you now, you can go near Panya if you're living in a house. You have to be somebody who a little dependent.
I know. I went through that too.
Yeah. You can go near Panya, your family through you. So my grandfather catch me in the yard. I was sleeping and knock on one of the doors. But always like them they had single seconds, not double seconds.
Okay.
Single seconds. So I was knocking on single seconds and my grandfather said, he said, you do your homework? I said, he said, do ever let me see you going back? He told me that. He said, don't ever let me see you going back. I already started crying.
Yeah.
So my grandmother said, this boy kind of hard to tell him to go in back. And he gave me a problem because I could have talked to my grandmother. And I could have talked to my grandmother. She started begging and saying, listen, let us boy go. Because he might start. I
don't know, like you're talking about going upstairs.
So my grandmother called me back and I woke me in that band. When I was about 15 years, when I was 18 years, in that band, I come in, they give me a set. You want to take it?
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you. How did Cattle Country come about?
It had a band, a team in our village named Mavericks. The logo was that.
Keep talking.
I call it Hollis. We call it Hollis. Most of the guys have like that. They name the basketball team. After the name the basketball team, Mavericks. You know, Mavericks is dealing with Cattle. Who is that Cattle American?
Yeah.
And then through that, and boys and them started to say, this Cattle Country, boy. So everybody picked it up. And they started calling Cattle Country. And that name stick up to this day. That's over about 40-some years.
All right. We have to go upstairs.
Yeah.
Go.
Pleasant good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to take this opportunity to invite us to stand as we open in a word of prayer. I would like to invite Mr. TOGETHER Hamper, who will lead us in a prayer.
We can bow our heads, close our eyes,
whatever is more suitable to you in the process of prayer. Dear God, thank you for your mercy to bring us all here together. Dear God, thank you for the opportunity to come together in such a beautiful country as Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you, dear God, for this amazing instrument, the steel pan. Dear God, thank you for the fraternity of pan, for the brotherhood, the togetherness, the love that you have shown us and we have placed within this beautiful movement of pan. Dear God, thank you for the opportunity to help others. It is your will that we help one another. The strong help the weak. Those who have help those who don't have. And therefore we thank you today as we come together for that purpose. We pray that you bless all those who are striving, who are struggling in this difficult time. We pray that you strengthen the hearts, the minds, the spirits of so many of us who have difficulty, who have tests, who have trials, who are suffering. We understand that this is part of life. Dear God, help this event to be successful, help it to pass smoothly, and help the people, all of us who are involved, to share this spirit of understanding, of kindness, of generosity, of helping each other, of working together, of ensuring that all of us survive and move forward together. We thank you. We pray for your blessings. Amen. Amen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abubakar. Ladies and gentlemen, members of various steel bands here this afternoon, it would in fact be remiss of me if I had not asked for your mercy and your grace for our punishment of you this afternoon, having you stay so long here. So we would like to apologize for the late start this afternoon. But it was in fact a very good sight this evening when we saw that before 4, almost all of the bands represented here were here on time. And I think for that, the bands will deserve a round of applause. And I say that quite humbly because of the fact that I know some persons have made the comment, wow, the culture of the steel band movement is changing, they're on time. I was like, how do you say that? You're always on time. So this afternoon, we want to take the opportunity to welcome you here, the bands represented, each and every one of you, and thank you for coming out to this South Steel Band's hamper distribution through the collaboration, or in collaboration with the Member of Parliament for the constituency of San Fernando West, the Honorable Faris Alwari, the Attorney General of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, who is on his way as we speak, and big support and collaboration with our very own, as he made it clear to us this afternoon, the only pandia in the world, just not in Trinidad. His worship, Alderman Junior Regrello, here with us. So without further ado, I would want to welcome Mr. Akwil Arundel, who would bring some opening remarks regarding this initiative here, ladies and gentlemen, and share a little more with regards to the group and this initiative going forward. Let's welcome him, please.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Thank you to the mayor. Thank you also to the MP for the area, Mr. Awari, for facilitating this event at this point in time, right? The name of our group is PAN Moving Forward. We recently formalized the group, got the name for the group, and we're moving forward with that name, right? So you guys would know us onwards from PAN Moving Forward. We started the hamper drive as an initiative to fill a void or fill a gap that we noticed happening with our parent body as they try to provide some sort of relief for the steel bands moving into the pandemic. You have noticed that although that they tried, we could step in and help and assist them as well. So this is merely an extension of what they have been doing, and we are assisting them going forward into getting some relief towards the bands, not only in San Fernando, but in the bands in the wider Trinidad and Tobago. The message that I would leave today with you guys is that as PAN people and as the movement, we have had a lot of negativity around our branding as PAN. And from today forth, we all have to be responsible in terms of changing that negativity, changing that brand. Persons must see a steel band as an institute of positivity, as an institute of positive transformation for youths, and not only youths, for anyone who wishes to be positively impacted by the instrument. This initiative is not only an initiative of giving hampers, but is also an initiative of bringing the politicians closer to the steel bands in their community. So the drives that we had, or the distributions that we had in the past, we also have now the politicians, the MPs, the councillors, and so on, the mayors, taking notes of what your steel band currently needs, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's assistance with different monetary resource, and at least they know, and at least the conversation is happening through this initiative as the MP, the mayors and the councillors meeting the steel bands. We have to make sure that that branding go forward as positive, and we as PAN people must unite under this new brand of PAN moving forward, and PAN would be something that is positive and it's proven to be positive for the nation and the national youths at large. So without any other comments at this point in time, I would like to hand you over to the chairman. Thank you everyone, and thanks for being here.
Thank you very much, Mr. Arundel. At this time, the Member of Parliament is here, and we'll just await his arrival as he climbs the 100th step.
Yeah, you know what? You can run up that.
Yeah, indeed, I know he's good. Yes. And I know next, Mr. Ugolo, we would have the elevator in full commission next time.
That was a technical difficulty.
Yeah, the elevator goes 5 minutes.
You bring the boss.
Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to stand as we welcome the our Attorney General. All humility here this afternoon, sir.
It is a sin to have the guy who arrived last make everybody stand up. If anything, bottle tells after that. Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Genetics stand out, I think. Stand out. Good afternoon, brother.
So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, so we thank you and we welcome you, Minister, for your presence here this afternoon. It slipped me again this afternoon to mention my name. I am Maurice Alexander. I apologize, I am the Master of Ceremonies for this evening's proceedings. And because I had made mention to you before that we are against time, and I know the member of our Attorney General may not have enough time to write up all these passes for us, given the curfew that we have pressed for. I will take no further ado and invite His Worship the Mayor Alderman Junior Igalo to bring his greetings and share his questions.
Thank you, Maurice, and permit me to recognize our Member of Parliament and Attorney General, members of the PAN fraternity, and organizers of this evening's event. I was contacted by Aquil a couple of weeks ago about hosting this event and about assisting bands who may be in need at this very critical time. And I said, well, I've been doing that since last year. I've been singing out bands and do what I have to do. He said, no, well, we have to do it collectively, because the feedback he has been getting is that there is a void that needs to be addressed. So charity begins at home, and we are here committed this evening to really addressing the issues based on a structure. So what I saw is that several bands were contacted and a listing submitted, which was sent to my office, and together with the MP, we have collaborated in making sure that we could fill that void and assist those who need at this difficult time and find some mechanism to continue with the band fraternity. I'm happy that this is happening, and I'm very happy to see catchment of southern bands here today. I know, I understand we have somebody from Diego Martin, and we have one or two Port of Spain people who came quite down San Fernando this evening and have to go back quite up Port of Spain this evening. I hope they'll do that. But we are accustomed coming to Port of Spain, you know, so, and we know basically go up down, you know, and you coming down south. They're quite here and quite there. However, what I'm impressed by is that level of commitment by this group in support of this cause, because this is critical. And I'm concerned about how we go forward as a structured body and as a San Fernando entity. I'm very, like the AG, we are very committed to San Fernando. We are very passionate about San Fernando. So, just yesterday I was at a function where the HDC have opened a branch where all the facilities that you get in Port of Spain, you can now get in San Fernando. You can access an apartment via San Fernando. You can do your payment in San Fernando. You can set up documents in San Fernando. And this is the direction we want to do. We want to close that gap between North and South. Because South can stand on its own as an entity, but we deserve a lot more than what we are getting. So I know that the MP, myself and several others are working towards that. In 2007, 2008, we had a panorama in San Fernando. One of my dreams is to see an next panorama in San Fernando. That it could happen. We've got a better organized panorama because I was instrumental in putting that together. Let's work towards those dreams. Bring panorama to San Fernando. There's so many things that we can do collectively as a body, because this is your force, this is your power. When you come together, not as an individual, as a body. So I want to commend those of you who planned this event this evening to make sure that we can look at the needs of those who really need assistance and to consolidate ourselves as a unit, as a strength within San Fernando and the Southeast. So congratulations to those of you who organized this event. Look forward to continue working with you and supporting you. The Mayor's office, and I can speak on behalf of my colleague here and my brother. You want assistance, come to us. We are here for that. That's our responsibility to help you in going forward. Congratulations and thanks for making the effort to successful.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Ladies and gentlemen, as Mr. Aquil had mentioned, it is very important to as well to extend a little more on what he said regarding the initiative. This is one of the first initiatives amongst many to come with that collaboration with bands, and from not just only in the south area, but as far as Tobago too, because we had that discussion sometime that we will be going to Tobago, because we are no longer, and this is the thing that we need to look at. We are no longer an organization, we are a fraternity, we are an institution, and collectively we can in fact achieve this motto here, PAN, moving forward collectively as a body. No more splinters, but coming together to form that bottle as we develop our national instrument called the steel pan. So ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, I would like to take the opportunity here. It's my privilege to welcome to the rostrum our Member of Parliament for the constituency of San Fernando West, and I'm the Attorney General, as he share his thoughts and bring his greetings here this afternoon. Let's welcome him, please, Mr. Faris.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to San Fernando. Those of you who came up south, because northerners don't say they're coming down south, they say they're coming up south. Something that has always been mind-boggling for me. Welcome to San Fernando, Your Worship the Mayor. Thank you for hosting us in the city of San Fernando, but also thank you for hosting us in Skiffle's own home, which of course is something that we're very proud of. It's a lovely t-shirt thou shalt not try me. Powerful words for a powerful audience. So folks, we're talking about charity beginning at home. We're talking about unity. But there's a purpose. And the purpose is solidifying ourselves in growth. Everybody in this audience knows what the last year and a half has done to us. We are literally in a position where we have been reduced to some of the hardest times that we have known. In the Pan fraternity, no carnival event, livelihoods, expression, release. What better release is there than coming along the coffee or Cipero and making sure that our music plays, our youth get enjoined into productive work. Carnival and the culture of it is rooted in Pan. So in this audience right now is our culture. And our culture has been put to the test in the last year and a half. Who not dead, badly wounded. And some of our brothers and sisters are broken and in distress. As MP for San Fernando West, I'm very pleased to coordinate some of the relief effort that we have done in the constituency into this fraternity. I'm very pleased that the mayor has also had the ability to do that as well. But there is a purpose in this fraternity that I'd like to ask of you this afternoon. Vaccinate. If you don't mind, how many people in here have been vaccinated? Put your hands up. Very soon, we're about to open in the centers, arrive and vaccinate. Not by appointment. But watch what is going on around the world. Look at the numbers we're seeing. The number of people that are affected is in the 90-something% for unvaccinated. If we want a hope of coming out of COVID and surviving, we have to encourage the vaccination drive. It's amazing at how much attention people are giving to fake news and false news. But let's be real for a moment. We cannot continue to stay under lockdown. It is unsustainable. 3% rise in infection, 5% rise in infection, 8% rise in infection today. What does that tell us? Everybody's making the cry, open, open, open. But what is at stake is not a government or a Ministry of Health that doesn't care. How many beds do we have for sick people? Because when sick people with COVID turn up and take bed space, the normal attendance to sick people can't happen. And therefore we are talking not about death of COVID patients only, you're talking about death of everything else that is avoidable. And therefore I really want to urge this audience to think very carefully about whether we're going to support a vaccination drive or not. It's something that we have to walk away from this event and decide upon. So to the Pan fraternity, that's one of the first purposes as we're delivering relief, organized in part today, to our brothers and sisters who are in distress to families who are in distress. We need to bring some relief by educating our brothers and sisters to go for a vaccine. I've had my vaccines. I didn't have a third eye up here. My tail didn't get any longer. The Sinopharm vaccine is a phenomenal vaccine. It's built the way all vaccines have been built, and it's widely available right now. So without belaboring that point, I'm urging us to please consider vaccination, because when your captain of the pan side calls the troops to order, you have a great influence. You sitting in this audience are leaders of Trinidad and Tobago. You have people that follow you. So every leader must do his or her part, so that thou shalt not try me. Because we're being tried. Folks, while I have the opportunity, I want to tell you that we have a significant amount of work going on under Minister Randall Mitchell. There are great plans and structures for bringing to life what we do in our culture, what PAN means for us. As MP, I'm in discussion with Hatters, who's being affected by our roadworks and developments, as is the mayor. If you drive around San Fernando, you see a lot of development going on. You head to our waterfront, you'll see a lot of work going on. Picture a new city filled with our culture and our music. And understand that opportunity exists. But we had to get back to normalcy. At the AG's office, our intellectual property side of the equation, we are protecting and growing our culture by securing our intellectual property. It means that there's value in what we do, how we do it, and where we take it. Our culture is to be grown, and you again form part of that. So in establishing your PAN fraternity, I'd like you to remember that we are there to lend a hand at the AG's office as well, apart from the MP's office, because you have a product that is extremely valuable in every carnival, in every part of the world, but right here in Trinidad and Tobago. I'd also like to say, as I wrap up, the MP's office, San Fernando West, we have a vibrant team. All of our San Fernando-based people, you are welcome to come and have assistance provided in coordinating any of the services that you need. Housing is a significant priority for a number of us. We have over 1,000 houses in San Fernando in terms of ultimate construction. You need to look at Carlton Lane across the road, look at the waterfront development, look at the HTC developments. But those things will not come to pass as quickly as we want it if we don't vaccinate, operate, and get our society back together. So ladies and gentlemen, rest assured you have my full support. Rest assured that our better days are ahead of us. Rest assured that the doors are wide open, and I'm urging you to take the mission of calling every member of your PAN side, every member of your organization, and finding out if they are vaccinated yet or not. It's going to make the difference not only between life and death, but between lives and livelihoods. So thank you for the opportunity to participate in bringing relief. God helped us out with no rain, because we've been having a little bit of challenge with that. And God bless the fact that Skiffle Bunch has this beautiful open air, so that we are COVID compliant in what we are doing. I wish you safe journeys back to your respective homes long before the curfew descends. And for those of you who are headed back to other parts outside of San Fernando, your visa stamp. You're welcome back to San Fernando anytime you are ready. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. And I'm really glad to say here this evening that we were moved, and I in particular was very moved, not just only by form, but what you would have laid here, substance in your unwavering support, not just only to the PAN fraternity, but by extension, the city of San Fernando. So let's give our minister another one of applause, please. This afternoon, what you would have shared with us, and truly continue to extend that onward to our membership from our respective bands. The success, ladies and gentlemen, of this evening's proceedings, as we bring the curtains down, would not have been possible had it not been for two gentlemen. I mean, we are a committee, we are a team, but we want to highlight two gentlemen before I invite one of them to do the vote of thanks here this afternoon. Mr. Jonathan Achaiba, no stranger, his name, his family name, in the business of PAN in the city of San Fernando, has been spearheading in collaboration with Mr. Sean Dubé this South Steelman's hamper distribution here this afternoon. And indeed, it was sleepless nights, phone calls, all quality hours, and even getting into contact with some of you with regards to having your information sent over to us and the members, the names and stuff like that. All right, and really and truly, I was impressed with the work that these two gentlemen, by just the use of phone and technology, and the success of what is here this afternoon. I think they both deserve a round of applause, and for the support, that you all had given to them as well, because I know Mr. Achaiba shared with me, one or two members would have given a lot. I mean, we PAN people, that's how they get a little trouble sometimes, all that in the mix. But he was able to get the necessary information as required. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to invite Mr. Achaiba this time, who will do the vote of thanks. Let's welcome him, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of our organization, PAN Moving Forward, I would like to say thank you to our MP, Mr. Faris Alwari. Thank you so much for being very instrumental and contributing to the bands. Thank you to Mr. Junior Adriello, the mayor, for letting us use his facility and also donating to the cause and having his support for future ventures. And a very special thanks to all of you all, the band leaders and representatives, for taking the time to come here and be part of this and accept our invitation. We look forward to not just this being a hamper giving process, but to build that relationship with you all, especially with me, getting to know all of you all, as well as MP, well, most of you, everybody know Junior. So thank you very, very much for coming here, and I hope that we could do something in the future. And I pray everyone reach home safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Achaiba. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we bring the curtains down before we do the hamper distribution, which will be done downstairs, I would just like to say in closing that you remember this evening's proceedings and remembering the team, the hard work that has been done by this committee, this group of young people that has offered themselves to service through us, our family, the PAN family. And it is very interesting. I need to put in a plug for them. As young people, sometimes people have a lot to say, but when young people offer themselves to serve, you have crickets making noise. Cricket makes noise, but young people have come forward and offered themselves to serve. And I think by just that move, those of us who understand, the elders, and who understands the business, the best that you can give is to give that support, give that guidance, share that experience, and mold the thing going forward. So as the motto on our jersey says here, growing stronger together. This is only possible if we do it together and do it collectively as a family. So thank you again. Do enjoy the rest of the evening. I think Mr. Achaiba,
Yeah, what we will do is we'll have someone here and we'll call each man separately. So we'll have a pile-up. So we have a list, we will call each man and you list go down, connect your hampers. And as part of the exit, we will call the other man. So just to make sure everything will pile up downstairs, right? I believe you just want to do this public one or two pictures of the hampers and then we'll call everybody in about less than 15 minutes. Yes, Mr.
Can I just suggest that if you have a list, that you announce it now, so people have an order, you have a line of sight. So somebody will know that towards the end wouldn't be holding on waiting for the name on the board. So if we did that, we'll know what next on deck equals.
What was? I don't
Till the All Stars. I saw Mr. Tid somewhere around here. Right, Mr. Tid, until the All Stars, you'll be number 9. Alright? Then last but not least, we have Panasonic Connection, number 10. Right after until then, only form and public sales to collect
Send Sid first, because Sid is the oldest, most senior member Pan person. Sid going first. Agree that? Yeah.
Mr. Sid, you don't know your 300 right now, don't worry about it. Alright. Let's go again. Number 1, we have...
Sid first and then Sal.
Okay, so you want to say first? Okay, we'll go with Mr. Sid. Panasonic Connection, we'll go with Antillian All Stars, and then we'll go with Shades and Steels. Please.
Right, so 1, 2, 3, let's head downstairs.
Come to those.
Next on deck, we come on there. So we're able to coordinate the delivery.
Thank you.
Pass out over 2 minutes. First.
Okay, come, watch me.
Right, we get you.
It has no more.
We could do one or two.
Yeah, and look up now, the group plan will go forward. Oh gosh, have the group upstairs. Let's just Sean, all the group members, tell them we want to get a picture with all the group members. And then you just take pictures naturally. Alright, now.
How you put this away with us?
That's now said. We put you in the t-shirt, that's all right. Come closer here. Just about elevator, that's it. Okay.
That's what I was
right.
Elbows a bit.
Hey, wait now. True.
I have plenty black lens in it.
Some, yeah, buyer.
Should I find anything about it?
Yeah, I said anything just now.
Listen,
yeah.
After you got me second, we'll look on this out. Me.
Right, we go
to you.
Oh, Sean, you inside?
When you ready?
Yeah. Take it in with Sean one time. No, let's speak. Alright? If any band leader want to have a picture with us, a little comment from you want to have a picture. I know some band leaders kind of funny.
I think that sit should be right here.
Yeah, I know some with the hamper. I think some band leaders get the picture thing.
I'm still a little fella, my mother's telling me that all the time.
Yeah.
Right, so it's ready next person, ready there. Because there were six numbers.
Why was in the bag there? Was it spread in the bag? Who was the bag now?
Alright, so let's take your three and then we give you the other three. Right? You're carrying more?
Yeah. Alright, jump down. Right? Where's the next bag? Next bag here?
Yeah.
My wife, my pan.
Right, so 6 of those bags.
Right, and Sean come back to the bread, right? We have 6 loaves of bread to give you, right?
Right, they have to get 6 of the next bag. All the bags they have to get 6 of?
And how many fishes?
That's, so we alternate them.
Alright, good. You know what it is, right?
There are 4 here and...
Oh, all stars, right.
There's an amphibian.
Amphibian all stars.
Chocolate one there.
I see it earlier.
It's frozen.
No, don't worry.
Sean, we have 6 in total. So right now, how much of it? So let me take another round.
Right. And we have these 6. Right, you come back.
So that's 4, we have 2 more to come through.
Yeah, and the bread. We have 2 more hampers, right?
Ready?
You could really put on that.
Take it 2 by 2 now, 6 and 2. Alright, so drop it right. Fellas, we get another hand. Everybody will take 2 more.
Okay.
So it's like, this is a pocket, this is hampers up here too. It's either the black and the brown is 1 hamper, this is 1, 2 as well. And then you get up 6 as well. Some, you don't get it on black and brown with that. No, we alternate it, you get 3 of this. Yeah, so this one out. Right, so take a big fraction of 2 there. Yeah, exactly. Then you take a 2 share, and 2 share this, right? 2 share this, right? Yeah. Come on, you take it for there. 3 hours of taking out. Yes. One time for brownie.
Yeah, I see you.
Ready?
Yeah, I don't know. So take those 3 bags, and we take the 3 bags and then we have 3 brown and 3 black, right? The brown and black is 1 hamper.
You cannot drink it.
Yeah, that's all.
We will put it here.
It's your bread for sandwich, right? Thank you. Alright.
You want the gents or the ladies? Chris, boy.
Yeah. Everything good with it?
Good afternoon. I am Leslie Felix. I am the arranger of Nothing Big Pan Grove at Pity Valley, Dego Martin. So what we do in our band, we would have homework centers, we would have our general band, as well as help out students to learn different skills, right? So we would work with students in the area, have them in the band members would of course form the core of the steel band. So our right. So what we do, we have programs in place where we draw the community closer to the steel bands because we understand that culture is an influential factor of society. So by using the cultural space, which is the barnyard, to reach out to the community, the persons in the community. We take advantage of that to help them develop different skills, as well as the homework center, as we mentioned before, right? So I'm Leslie Felix, I'm the arranger of the band. I'm also a member of the band Moving Forward. This is the team that we are working with to assist communities throughout the country. Right today, we participated in the Hamper Drive, and the goal of this initiative is not only to reach out to persons in need who belong to different steel bands, but also to have a closer influence with the politicians in society, in the communities, linking together with the persons in these societies and these communities, right? So we'll have a greater support coming from those stakeholders who actually are in those positions to actually assist and facilitate us in our endeavors, right? So what I am focusing on generally would be the educational aspect, where we would improve the educational systems in the steel bands, because we all know that the bands, we are a space of learning, right, as well as a cultural platform. So we're going to utilize these spaces to have these community members learn more about the music, and by doing that we're going to be linking the community closer to the members in society. So the goal is to link that community closer to the band members so that it could be as one. It won't be separated as some persons would like it to be, as some persons perceive it to be. It's all in the same place and they should all be one. So you have community working together with culture, and when that is done, you would find that society would have a better impetus to go forward, where you would have that cultural knowledge, that cultural education taking place in that cultural space. Presently, a lot of persons would view the Panyards as a place of recreation, a place where you go to get extracurricular activities. They don't see the true value, the essence of actually developing the individuals, right, to become better citizens in society. So these are the steps that we are taking to go forward. And again, Pan Moving Forward is the name of the team, and we will work closely together with persons, our stakeholders in these communities, to make sure that the community comes closer to the Panyards, and the Panyards are proper representation of the talents, the skills, the development, and the progress in these communities.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.